Today, we're going to be analyzing the UFC 311 full card. We're going to be breaking it down, all the matchups from the prelims and the main card.
First pay-per-view of the year. And Dana didn't miss with this one, dude. We got two title fights. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan and Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. And that's just the title fights. That's just the main and co-main. The rest of this card is super fire. So let's just jump into it.
Absolutely.
First fight of the prelims.
So we got Zachary Reese versus Sedriques Dumas.
This fight's absolutely going to go to the ground.
I think so, man. I think Reese is going to take this one home for sure.
All right, let's move on to this next fight. This one's pretty exciting. Jailton Almeida versus Serghei Spivac.
This will be a good matchup because both fighters had big losses and then they came and bounced back. Jailton Almeida had that brutal loss against Curtis Blades. Spivac had that loss against Serghei, and then they both came back. So I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be a close fight, but I think Jailton, with the submission pressure, he's going to be putting on Serghei Spivac the whole fight. That's going to give him the edge. I think that the minus 390 is a little bit unjustified. I think it should be a little bit closer. Jailton Almeida is just going to grind it out, man. Just put the pressure on Spivac.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be an interesting matchup because usually in the heavyweight division, it's two just strikers with not much ground game. These guys both have an excellent ground game. We saw how Spivac absolutely shut down Derek Lewis. Obviously, Almeida does the same. They're giving Almeida a lot of credit here. They're saying he's just better on the ground. Submission average 2.6 opposed to Spivac pretty much not finishing anybody.
Right.
It's going to go to the ground, and on the ground, Almeida is the jiu-jitsu specialist.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be the story of this fight.
I could see it ending either in a unanimous decision or a submission, really.
It might be another boring fight. I might skip this one. But, dude, let me tell you something. I am not going to skip this next fight. Payton Talbott versus Barcelos. This is going to be fireworks. I think this is going to be under 2 minutes.
Wow.
Under 2 minutes.
Really? That's high praise, man. I mean, we saw what Payton Talbott can do in his previous fights. Minus 1,500 according to ESPN.
He's getting the Bo Nickel treatment.
That's insane, man. That's like...
It's justified, though. He's a whole lot taller. He's a whole lot younger. His reach is crazy. And Talbot right now is looking like Sean O'Malley when he was coming up. I know that might sound like a casual take, but this guy seems untouchable. And obviously the UFC is throwing him some softballs here.
Yeah, I mean, undefeated, KO wins in his last two fights. The guy's looking so fast, so crisp, and I'm excited to see him get another dub in the octagon here.
You know what? And obviously, he has a very young career. No takedowns at all, no ground game. But that hasn't even been tested. We'll see if he does get taken down this fight. That was not a one-dimensional fighter. He just hasn't been able to prove his ground game.
Right.
But I think that even if it ends up on the ground, it's not going to be an end-all, be-all for this guy.
Next up, we have Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Guskov. I don't even know who to take in this one, man. This is like Johnny Walker's been so unreliable his last two fights.
Now we're moving on to the juicy stuff. Your main card. We've been waiting for this. Kevin Holland versus Ritter.
Yeah.
This is another story of testing the champions from another organization in the UFC. UFC veteran Kevin Holland, on days he's on, he looks invincible. But he can also lose to some unranked guys. I mean, I don't know how this is going to play out. I guess that's why it's even money. What do you think?
Yeah, I think De Ritter's going to take this one home. I mean, this guy was a former champion in ONE FC, retired, came back into the UFC, submitted Gerald Mearshart with ease. I mean, Kevin Holland is obviously the greatest gatekeeper in UFC history. I don't know, man. I'm kind of liking De Ritter in this matchup here, bro.
Only reason I'd go for Kevin Holland is because he's been in the UFC so long, and we know the UFC caliber fighters are just way higher level. Kevin Holland did lose to MVP, dude. I think you're spot on with this. Honestly, I'd probably side with De Ritter here.
Yeah.
Next up, Beneil Dariush making his UFC return against Renato Moicano. This is pretty clear cut for me, dude. Give me money Moicano. Dariush got absolutely schooled by Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, he did.
And that was hard to watch because I like Beneil Dariush, but Moicano needs that money. And he's fighting literally to keep the lights on in his house.
Yeah.
And Beneil looks like he's coasting by. He's fine. He doesn't care if he wins or loses.
Yeah, man. And I feel like this is one of those matchups where momentums are going in entirely different directions. Moicano's on a fat win streak. He's been on fire. Seems like he can't lose. Dariush has suffered 2 knockout losses in a row in Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira. I mean, it seems like his heart's not really in it anymore, and it just seems like Moicano's got the momentum. I think Moicano takes this one pretty easily.
Yeah. You know what? Confidence is a big thing in the UFC. If you come in with some sort of aura, it does really make an impact on the fight. And Moicano just came off of a dominating, maybe the first 10-5 round ever against Benoit Saint Denis, who, you know, people were scared of. People thought Benoit was going to beat Dustin Poirier. And look what happened to him. The only caveat about this fight is Beneil is definitely skilled on the ground. So Moicano, I don't think he can just manhandle Dariush like he did to Benoit. But
Moicano's going to get the dub here.
All right, now this next fight, very, very exciting. Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal Hill. Both Alex Pereira's children.
Oh, man. I mean, I told you earlier today, man. I'm going to bet next month's rent on Jiri Prochazka here. If you've seen the pictures, Jamahal Hill looks like he just got done eating at a Subway restaurant. And it looks like Jiri has been training hard. He's cut. He looks like Arman Tsarukyan with the six-pack going on right now. I mean, this is insane. I can't believe it's pretty much even money here on the betting lines. I think Jiri's going to easily defeat Jamahal Hill here.
And I'll tell you why it's an even money line is because I think that way, except about Jamahal. I think Jamal's going to absolutely piece up Jiri Prochazka.
Wow.
And let me tell you why, dude. Jiri Prochazka, yeah, he was a UFC champion, but he got to that title shot way too fast, dude. He knocked out a couple people in very shocking fashion. One of them was Dominic Reyes. Jamal, he's a deadly striker. I mean, we can't discount that. This guy can throw hands. Jiri Prochazka is training weird, obscure martial arts. This thing is not going to the ground, obviously. Experienced veterans like Jamahal Hill is not going to fall for these weird looks. I think he's going to easily piece up Jiri. The longer this fight goes on, it's going to be more and more clear that Jamal's skill level is just way better than Jiri.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, and people do forget that Jamal only has one loss since 2021, which is crazy. But you also got to think, his last win was against a 45-year-old Glover Teixeira, dude. And he's been out for like the last 3 years.
But who has Jiri beat? Who has Jiri beat?
He's beat a lot of good guys.
Oh, he has not. I think it's going to be Jamal. You think it's going to be Jiri? What do you guys think? Please leave it in the comments below.
Jiri all day. Jiri all day.
Moving on to the co-main event. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm just going to say it right now. I think this is a fair line. I think Umar's going to absolutely destroy Merab.
Oh, wow.
I don't say that lightly because I know that Merab is a former champion beater. He massacres them. I think Merab fights way too one-dimensionally. Literally, his game plan is outlined. And I think Umar is going to be able to neutralize that wrestling. Dude. I think Merab fights very square. He's gonna pressure fight you, but his strikes are never dangerous, and that's just so different from Umar, where every strike could put you out, dude. And Umar's kicks are on another level. He's not gonna be afraid to throw those kicks because he's not afraid to get taken down by Merab. That's gonna be the difference maker between Merab versus Sugar versus Merab versus Umar. Umar is gonna throw those kicks and get himself in compromising positions where he could be taken down because he's not scared of it.
Yeah.
And you saw what happened in round 5 against Sugar. Once he found that teep kick down the middle, Merab was doomed. And I think Umar's going to come out with that teep kick in the first round, absolutely crumble Merab's game plan.
Yeah, man. I mean, Merab, the reason why he's had that double-digit win streak is because he's had some pretty solid matchups in terms of stylistically. I mean, Umar Nurmagomedov cancels everything out. The dude is a deadly wrestler. He has the Nurmagomedov name, trains under Khabib, obviously. He's not going to be scared of Merab's pressure. He's not going to be scared of Merab's takedown. Even if he does take him down, I'm sure Nurmagomedov will find a way to reverse the position and be on top. It's a tough matchup, man. It's a real tough matchup for Merab. And I mean, he's looked unstoppable recently, but I think he's met his match right here, dude.
Umar's a bad stylistic matchup for Merab. I like Merab.
I like Merab too, man.
I want to see Merab keep the belt, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, this next matchup here, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Man, people are underrating Arman. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think Arman's going to win this fight.
Oh,
I'm not even
I
gonna
don't
beat
want
around
to
the
take
bush.
it that far, but...
I'm taking it that far. I'm taking it that freaking far, dude. I mean, plus 300 is disrespect. Put him in your parlays, man. Have you seen the shape that this guy is in? He has 0% body fat. He looks like...
Why is that your... that's your like logic for every matchup. You're like,
look at discipline.
Look at this guy's abs.
He's got great abs, man. He's got insane abs,
Islam
bro.
is shredded too, bro.
Yeah, but Arman is like even more shredded, dude. Arman is one of the smartest fighters. Arman is the type of guy to study hard, train with so much discipline, as you can see from his abs. And I think he's going to defeat Islam Makhachev either by knockout or by unanimous decision.
Listen, this is not a bodybuilding show. This is mixed martial arts. Let's take a look at their last fights. Islam versus Dustin Poirier. that was a masterclass.
Yeah.
Islam can stand and bang with literally the best striker in the division. Obviously, ground game speaks for himself. He choked out Dustin Poirier. Islam Makhachev might go down as the greatest lightweight in the UFC history, and we're discounting him right now. Arman Tsarukyan, obviously, he is an elite lightweight. He looks good amongst other lightweights, and that is saying a lot because that division is so stacked. But look at his last fight against Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, a lot of people saw that he won that fight. He put Arman in literally compromising submissions in 2 out of the 3 rounds. I think Arman barely squeezed by with that one.
I think Islam barely squeezed by Dustin, dude. If it weren't for that last round submission.
He was lighting up Dustin too. He was lighting up Dustin.
Either way, I think it'll be a close fight.
But I think it's an easy Islam though.
You thinking Islam's going to win?
I think Islam's going to absolutely win.
I'll bet you $20 right now Arman wins. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Guys.
That's the easiest $20 I've ever made. That's our breakdown. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments below who you think is going to win. Leave your parlays down below. Maybe we'll tail it.
Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok.
Maybe TikTok. They might be gone by now, but
Yeah. Let us know if you guys want us to keep on making breakdowns like this. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
peace.
Peace.